Hey guys, are you tired of spamming your blasphemous blade and want to know how to deal the same or even more amount of damage but 10 times faster? Well, let me introduce you to the Angry Logan build. It is a strength build with the starting class being the samurai. I chose the samurai for the 15 dex requirement needed for bloodhound claws. I chose the bloodhound claws because they scale pretty well with strength. The bloodhound claws are selected with a heavy affinity to scale with strength only. You can get bloodhound claws as a drop from the lesser bloodhound knight staring at an item in the corner, located at Volcano Manor, just before the prison town church site of grace. Once you get Bloodhound's Claw, you'll notice its Ash of War is Bloodhound's Step, an upgraded version of Quick Step. It's pretty nice, but you can't put the heavy affinity on a default Ash of War, so I chose Braggart's Roar instead. This Ash of War is pretty good because it gives players a 10% increase in physical attack damage, 10% increased damage resistance for all damage types, and 20% increased stamina recovery. You can get this prior to getting Bloodhound Claws. Just kill Blackguard Bogart at Boiled Prawn Shack to get the Ash of War drop. You also don't need the Iron Whetblade in Stormvale Castle, since the heavy affinity is already on Braggart's Roar by default. Moving on to stats. The three primary stats are Strength, Stamina, and Vigor. You're gonna have 80 points in Strength, 50 in Stamina, and 48 in Vigor, and then leave everything else alone. I would say you should work towards getting Stamina around 15 to 20 first, then start putting points into your Strength stat. After you get a decent amount, let's say between 30 to 40, you can continue to upgrade Strength or focus on Stamina. Since this is a glass cannon build, upgrading Vigor is optional. I upgraded mine because I was kinda struggling with the bosses near the end game. Yeah, this is a very simple build, but it works pretty well. You can melt bosses pretty quickly, especially those that are either weak to slash, bleed, or both. Some examples include Margit/Morgott, Renala, Moog, and that one weird finger creature boss in the DLC. On the other hand, some bosses resist slash damage, like Valiant Gargoyles, Black Blade Kindreds, Normal and Draconic Tree Sentinels, Commander Gaius, and the Putrescent Knight. Now for talismans. I use a combination of both base game and DLC talismans. If you don't have the DLC, that's okay. I will also include some optional talismans as decent substitutes. First is the Blue Dancer Charm. It boosts the player's physical attack the less weight the player has, with a maximum damage boost of 50% at 0 weight. This is great because the Naked Logan build features no defense and is very lightweight, boosting our attack by a moderate amount. Next is the Crucible Feather Talisman. I really like this talisman because it provides me with 6 extra invincibility frames, making it easier for me to dodge attacks while lightweight. The only downside is that this talisman increases damage taken by 30%, but I don't really worry about it because it's a glass cannon build, so I already have low defense. Next is the Rotten Winged Sword Insignia. It incrementally boosts damage by 6%, then 8%, then 13% for every successive attack. This is great with the large amount of stamina this build has because you can just two-hand the claws and spam L1 like never before. But if you don't want to go through all the hassle to say hi to Millicent at the Halictree, you can get the normal version from Stillwater Cave in Lernia. Finally, I use the two-headed green turtle talisman. Pretty straightforward talisman, it just boosts my stamina recovery by 22.2%. Good for when I'm done spamming my attacks and I want to roll out of danger or run away from a ranged attack. This talisman is gonna save my ass in the battlefield. But if you don't have the DLC, just get the normal turtle talisman. It's pretty easy to get. You just need to bring a stone sword key in advance. Now for some optional talismans. Claw Talisman. Boosts jumping attacks by 15%. Great for jump spamming attacks. I recommend this on any NPC human bosses and invaders. Ritual Sword Talisman. Boosts damage by 10% at max HP. Great for when you're just starting out the run or you currently have low HP. Pairs well with Blue Dancer Charm and Crucible Feather Talisman. Retaliatory Cross Tree DLC Talisman. It boosts attack power by 70% after a successive roll or backstab. It's good against enemies and bosses with not a lot of rest gaps in their attacks. Some examples are Godfrey, Mesmer, and the Putrescent Knight. Finally, the Crusade Insignia, another DLC talisman. Boosts attack by 20% after killing an enemy. Great when you are farming for runes or exploring dungeons. Onto the Flask of Wondrous Physique. I use the Opaline Bubble Tier, which negates their next attack taken by 90%. Great for increased survivability, especially when I have low HP, granting me an extra chance and gives me more time to fight bosses. I also use a Thorny Crack Tier. It acts like the Winged Sword Insignia talismans and stacks well with it too. Gives me that extra attack boost when I'm clawing at my opponents. That's it for this build showcase. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and sub for more content like this, and thanks for watching.